Aloha everyone, and welcome back to the Kilauea Eruption and Leilani Estates update for July 6, 2018. As has been the status quo for, well, a couple weeks now, not much really has changed, so we'll go over the USGS daily report real quick for you. On Friday, July 6, 2018, at 11:25 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, USGS reports the eruption in the lower East Rift Zone continues with no significant change. Fountains from Fissure 8 Spatter Cone continue to supply lava to the open channel with intermittent, small, short-lived overflows. Spatter Cone is still about 55 meters or 180 feet tall at its highest point, and fountains rarely rise above that point. As shown on the July 2nd thermal map of the flow field, the main lava channel no longer reaches the coast. The channel flow seems to stall out about 0.8 kilometers or 0.5 miles inland on the coast. However, lava is oozing into the ocean from multiple points, primarily along the northern section of a broad flow front. The large flow activity over the past 48 hours from multiple ooze-outs along the northern edge of the flow continued to be active between Kapoho crater and the ocean, and continued to be the dominant ocean entry and lays plumes this morning. Fissure 22 is still weakly spattering this morning, with a weak flow extending east. Highway 130 just past Leilani Estates still reports no changes in temperature, crack width, or gas emissions have been noted for several days. However, I do want to point out that the report keeps saying hasn't been noted for several days. Basically, that is just a generic statement. I think there has been no changes with any of those three factors for that area for weeks, actually. But I guess they're only, referencing the last few days. There's been no change since the last few days, been no change, etc. Just kind of want to point that out. Now up on the Kilauea Volcano summit, another collapse explosion event occurred at 1:20 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on July 5th at the Kilauea summit. Seismicity dropped abruptly for several hours afterwards, but has since returned to 25 to 35 earthquakes per hour, a number of which are in the magnitude of 2 to 3 range. Another collapse explosion is expected later today. Inward slumping of the rim and walls of Halemaumau continue in response to ongoing subsidence at the summit. Back to Leilani Estates, the EPA air monitoring sensors, the sensor on Kapono is currently reading, as of 6:41 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, it's registering an SO2 reading of 0.118 parts per million and 0.0 parts per million for H2S. However, our sensor up at 130 and Leilani Avenue is no longer showing on the map, so I do not have any readings for that one. I can only assume that they have moved it to a different location where perhaps it was needed more. However, I felt more comfortable with it being up there because at least that gave me the ability to create a spectrum between the two readings in order to judge what the SO2 levels might be in any given area between the two sensors. But can't do that anymore, so thank you, EPA. And one final piece of information for this report is that a sinkhole has opened up on Highway 11 around the vicinity of the entrance to Volcanoes National Park. It's not extremely huge, but it is pretty wide. It's caused one lane of the highway to be closed for safety in that area. I do not have any more information on it. I haven't heard any reports of it getting any bigger or anything like that, but I'm sure they're watching it very closely. If you're traveling on that road in that area, please keep in mind that there'll probably be a little bit of a traffic congestion through there since it is down to one lane. Okay, well that takes care of the update information. Now let's move on to some of the good stuff, some videos and photos. And I think we'll call this part of the video the Look at That There section. So let's get to it. This obviously is Fissure 8. It's taken by the USGS. It's actually a very good photo. Next we have a video from the Hawaii Civil Defense. If you look at that there at the bottom right hand of the corner of your screen, you see the side vents for Fissure 8, and if you connect the line going through Fissure 8 to those steaming areas at the top left area, that actually shows you the fissure line that all the fissure vents opened up on. Now look at that there at the bottom left hand of the screen. That is Nohea Street intersecting with the Leilani Avenue. Alright, here at this one, I found a new photo from the Hawaii County Civil Defense. And if you look at that there at the bottom left, it's some very interesting cracking taking place on the flow field around the cone. You can also notice, if you look pretty much in the center screen, there is pretty much a line crack, whereas the other ones at the bottom left are more kind of a spider web. I really don't know what's causing that, but it'd be interesting to find out. Okay, let's take a look at the lava channel, also known as the lava river. If you look at that there at the top middle of the screen, you see that plume coming off of the horizon line. That's the ocean entry. And that there on the right hand side of the screen is Nohea Street. That would be Nohea Street north, running into Leilani Avenue as it approaches the Fissure 8. Hey, look at that there. Right in the middle of the screen, there's a small little lava rapid. Pretty cool. Okay, the next thing I want you to take a look at that there is the Halima'uma'u crater. On the left, we have the before image, before all the earthquakes and eruption and fissures and lava and all that stuff started taking place, and everything was running according to program schedule up at the volcano. On the right, we have a satellite image that was taken, I believe, on July 3rd is what the date was. I may be mistaken, but I do believe it was July 3rd. Anyways, you can see that there has been significant changes. The cracks running out of the middle of the main crater floor. The lava lake, where on the left you see the steam, smoke coming out. That's the actual lava lake itself in the before photo. And if you look on the after photo, the lake is gone and everything has slidden to the top left center. It looks like that's where the new hole is. So I'm beginning to wonder if the lava lake, which was the chimney from the reservoir, actually didn't kind of be, or isn't kind of more like an S-shaped tunnel going down to the reservoir, and that's why the deepest part of the crater looks like it shifted to the top left. Kind of interesting. I don't know. It's something I think I'd like to ask one of the USGS guys. So maybe the next time I run into him, I'll ask him about that. Okay, finally something special. Let's try to see if we can answer that question. Is the river slowing down? Here are 3 separate videos that were taken on 3 different days. The first video was taken on June 24th, 2018. The second video in the middle of the screen was taken on June 25th, 2018, and the third video on the right hand side was taken most recently on July 4th, 2018. So, taking a look, what do you guys think? It kind of looks a little variable. The first one on the left is moving very fast, but then on the second one, just a day later, it seems to be maybe a little bit slower perhaps. But then you get back to the one on the right, and you know, maybe it looks a little bit faster. I don't know. It's hard for me to see because, you know, there's a delay in the editor when looking at this. I won't really know for sure until after I watch the video, after it's been rendered out, and I can see everything play in real time. So y'all guys let me know in the comments what y'all think about this one, because the more eyes the better. But nothing's been edited on it. It's the raw video running at the the 60 frames per second, and yeah, that's that. Okay guys, I guess that's the end of this video. Thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to check me out on my doinghawaii.smugmug.com account and my redbubble.com account. Links are, of course, available in the description as usual. You can also find a link to my Twitter account. Follow me there so you can be notified of new videos. Plus, you'll be able to share some, photographs and stuff with me, so I can see some of the places that y'all are, where y'all live and things y'all like. I mean, I think that would be kind of cool. And last, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, which is down there at the bottom somewhere. And that'll let you know every time I post a new video, of course, but I'm sure most of you already know that. And for those that don't, now you do. So there you go. Educational channel, is it not? Okay, guys, that's all for tonight. Thank you for listening. This has been the Leilani Estates update for July 6th, 2018.